Okay, are you someone who is a defender of the Trump administration's draconian cuts to federal services? If so, can you help me understand something? I need help with some math. Because I was just reading about how RFK's cuts to the CDC, the FDA, and the National Institute of Health will affect all of us, and a reminder, just in case you missed it, that the Department of Health and Human Services announced just recently that they are going to fire 20,000 people. 20,000 jobs gone from the FDA, the NIH, the CDC, and other agencies, all to save $40 billion. So let's just look at how that's going to affect us. Talk about the CDC first, where they're emphasizing cutting programs looking at smoking, gun violence, climate change, not stuff that really affects any of us at all, right? They're going to cut HIV prevention funds in the United States because, we've done such a good job almost eradicating it here that why wouldn't we want to bring it back, right? Anyhow, you can see a list of some of the other things they're going to cut at the CDC, the viral hepatitis lab, STD prevention. They're going to stop studying traumatic brain injuries, chronic diseases, smoking reduction, zoonotic diseases, because those aren't a problem, right? Bird flu? What? And then there's cuts at the FDA. I mean, other than the big ones we've already heard about, like vaccines and related biological products advisory committee is just going away. The Center for Drug Evaluation and Research going away. It gets better. This is the Food and Drug Administration, so they have just suspended milk quality tests. So drink milk at your own risk. They also suspended a program to improve bird flu testing, and especially in our food. And just food safety quality checks in general. They're just suspended. No one is checking our food for things like foodborne illnesses, pathogens, bacteria. And if you want to know what cyclospora and glyphosate are, you should look them up because they may well be in your spinach or your barley now. But don't worry, at least it's not fatal. The NIH, well, just the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. They're cutting the Office of the Director, much of the Office of Communications, the Office of Minority Health. Oh, and they're cutting Head Start, but I've already done a whole video about that. Certain vaccines are going to become unavailable, like a new treatment for pancreatic cancer. In fact, new drug development in general will be slowed and in many cases just stopped completely. Bye-bye medical research, bye-bye progress. And finally, because Republicans are so pro-life, the HHS is going to cut the National Suicide Hotlines program for LGBTQ youth. Now, you may say, well, we've got to save money somewhere. I mean, $40 billion is a lot of money to save. It just has to happen. The cuts have to happen. Okay, really? But then let me ask you this. House Republicans today just announced that they're aiming to spend $150 billion on new defense funding in their reconciliation bill. This is the same bill that's going to cut almost $1 trillion from Medicaid. So that's $150 billion more for the Department of Defense on top of the $842 billion they've already gotten this year. And guess what? The Pentagon has never passed an audit, ever, in the 7 years since audits began there. Somehow it doesn't matter when it's the Pentagon. And don't even get me started on the fact that the IRS is going to raise $500 billion less this year because of DOGE cuts. They will raise $500 billion less than they would have. How does the math work? Someone make it make sense. And I really mean it. Make it make sense to me, those of you still defending DOGE, because from where I'm sitting, it looks like we are getting sicker, dumber, and crueler, and still losing money in the bargain. Make it make sense.